Guys, I'm coming out of that for just this moment. Right now, joining us is a Schoenecker juror on the phone. Thank you for being with us.
Okay.
We are all bringing in the verdict as it is happening, and I'd like to hear, I completely agree with your verdict, but before I taint you with my opinion, I'd like to hear your thoughts, sir. You sat through all the evidence and you rendered the verdict.
My thoughts on the evidence?
Yes, sir.
Well, the evidence was actually kind of overwhelming, particularly the journal. The journal was just kind of filled with a lot of hate, well thought out, a lot of it. You could tell she actually was planning quite a ways out exactly what she was going to do it and how she was going to do it. And the defense could never prove the insanity plea, that she didn't know right from wrong. And that's really the biggest thing. The whole thing was just kind of a whole sad case.
You know, I feel the same way. I'm torn. Everybody with me and also taking your calls is a Schoenecker juror who has just delivered this verdict. I was torn between wanting justice for Felix and Bo, sir, and also the overwhelming sadness, just overwhelming sadness. I've got a boy and a girl too. The just overwhelming despair of what this father must have gone through. I find something you said very interesting, sir. You brought up her journal because to me, that journal was the single most powerful evidence proving premeditation. What did you think of it?
Well, it was definitely premeditated, and the verdict was actually for Felix and Bo. They didn't deserve what they got. It's a shame that she couldn't have gotten help long before it happened, but I'm not sure she got the right kind of help.
When you were looking at her in court, everyone with me right now is a juror off the Schoenecker trial. A verdict has just come down, a guilty verdict, and there is a mandatory sentence. There is no leeway in Florida. If you are convicted of murder one, you get life without parole. And that is the correct sentence and verdict in this case. With me, a Schoenecker juror. As you sat and looked at her in court, and I came to court and watched the jury and watched the evidence, and I saw you guys looking over at her. You look at the witness stand, you look over at her, back to the witness stand. What were you thinking as you looked at Schoenecker?
As I looked at Julie?
As you looked at Julie Schoenecker?
I'm seeing a person that's really mentally sick, that, of course, when we're looking at her on the jury, she's on full meds. The state's keeping her medicated correctly like she should be, which wasn't happening back at the time of the crime. But she seemed to break down a few times, I've noticed. But she seemed to be in control of herself, and she was taking notes. She was following the case quite well. She's a very intelligent woman. There's a lot of demons going around in that head of hers, I guess.
You know,